Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com here with match number 2 with our Playing on a Budget Waste Not. This hand is... it's okay, we need that third source. We have the second turn Waste Not. We do need to find a red source for the Tymaret. Definitely need to keep it though. And again, if we get that third land for the Rakshasa's secret, this could turn out to be a very explosive hand. So it's going to be Bloodstained Mire for a mountain. I'm glad that wasn't a swamp because Thoughtseize would have really hurt our game plan here. And there's our third source right off the bat. So we'll go swamp, pass the turn, and turn 2 Waste Not, turn 3 Secret. Two cards away from the Gray Merchant, which is going to be as good as a Siege Rhino with the devotion we have. So it's going to be the Jeskai. That kind of threw me off with the Bloodstained Mire. I mean, I guess it still could be a swamp or a black in here, or maybe a 4-color or something, but I highly doubt it. They're probably just using it for the treasure cruises. So it's going to be Waste Not, and I'm glad that that's able to 100% resolve. And if he goes the Mantis Rider next turn, then I could even end up Murderous Cutting it if he discards a land. So it's going to be a 4-color deck. It's going to be a Hordeling Outburst, or maybe just using this for the dual land. I mean, it can add a blue. Maybe Treasure Cruise is the card that they're starting to splash into Mardu. So it's going to be the Goblins, which makes my Murderous Cut very bad. Unless he discards a creature here, then I'll be able to block those no problem. So Secret him. See, it ends up discarding 2 for 2 in games with having Waste Not into a secret, and you never know. I could really be helping him with Treasure Cruise here. So far, Lightning Strike which will give us a card. And he's taken a while to decide what his other plan is. And so Waste Not, the card advantage from Waste Not's already paid for itself. This other card that we get here, which is another non-land, which ends up being a Raise the Alarm. That's huge, actually. Gets us 2 cards. And we milled a Stockpile and a Master. There's a Whip. Yeah, this is actually turning out to being quite a powerful hand. Opponent already down to 3. He is going to be able to get in here for 3 damage with the Hordeling Outburst. And hopefully he doesn't have a Sorin here. A Sorin will be a bit of an issue, as he'll immediately plus it. It will gain him life, and his Goblins will actually swing in for 6 damage. So Drowned in Sorrows will be nice in the sideboard coming in. And it's going to be a Butcher. And I'm going to sack one of them to give it haste. And so I'm going to end up taking 7 damage here. So I'd love to draw into another discard spell. It is not. So I have some decisions to make. I guess the only decision I have to make here is just a Master of Feast. If he has removal, there's really nothing I can do about it. But it can block his Butcher. Still can't quite... I could have Murderous Cut his Butcher there, though. I think that just throwing out the Master's a little bit better. We do need to hit a land drop next turn. Preferably a non-comes into play tap land, as in we can just slap down the Gray Merchant. We do need to start stabilizing with Gray Merchant. And Crackling Doom, that does hurt. He's going to get in there for 7. Oh, no, he's not. I'm going to Murderous Cut it. It's only in for 2. Down to a 9. And now like a Mind Rot off the top or a Secret off the top is going to be brutal if I hit it. Alright, that's fine though. We'll Bloodstained Mire, which we'll go get the red source and stabilize with the Gray Merchant. So Gray Merchant for 3, which blocks his his goblins. Now, he could put out Wingmate Rock this next turn, which is going to be hard for us to deal with. But it'll at least kill a goblin token. Looks like another butcher is going to come out. And down to a 6. So again, I've got some options here. Another Grey Merchant will get me up a bit of life. A Whip will get me... I can actually Whip and Tymaret. And I think that's the smarter option. As Whip will gain me 2 life, be back up to an 8, but I die to a Lightning Strike if he's got one in his hand. If I just go Grey Merchant, and Grey Merchant might actually be the right play, because then I gain 6 life, get back up to a 12. Or I could just Master the Feast, which gives me a blocker, which I think is the weakest of the options here. So I think it's just going to be Grey Merchant. Or do I Whip? If I get a Whip, go up to an 8, he has to... No, I just die to like a Crackling Doom as well. So I think my only option here is to Grey Merchant, which puts me up to an 11. So the blue here, I'm trying to figure out what's it in here for. I'm thinking Treasure Cruise. Jeskai Ascendancy could be another one. Attack into the Grey Merchants. Next turn, we'll go for a Whip. And then his Butcher's not that scary. I'd hate to see a Sorin here. Sorin would be the absolute most devastating card he could throw out. It is a Sorin, as he can plus these up. Gives him lifelink. Decides not to give it Vigilance. I go down to a 5 here. So Sorin is something I can actually attack down. And there's another Grey Merchant, which I think is still the right play. If I Whip, I'll end up gaining 4 life, and I definitely could die to that Lightning Strike. I still think that the Grey Merchant now is still the right play, and that does quite a bit of damage, stabilizes me. And it'll attack both of these into Sorin. So Sorin's down to a 1. At this point, I think he sacks and gives Vigilance. Eight, 9. If he's got, what's the last card in his hand? I'm taking 10. Mantis Rider as well. So it's just try the best of both worlds. See with that last card in his hand. Yeah, just brutal double butchers. So I need to draw into a land for the Whip and the Master of Feasts, because I'm taking 10 no matter what. It's going to give Vigilance to the Butcher. And I'm down to a 2. Back up to a 17. Yeah, Sorin is just brutal with his ability to gain life. So, need a land here. I think the land's the only thing that can save me, or, yeah, just a land. And we do hit it. Because that allows us to kill off Sorin. So we whip and master. Kill off Sorin and gain some significant life. But again, he can still top deck out of this. And he's up to a 27. So let's see if it's a Crackling Doom. He gets the Crackling Doom. Top deck's the answer. Oh, just brutal, brutal, brutal. That's how it ends up being. So double Crackling Doom, double Butcher, and Sorin draw. Sideboard, again, Bile Blight seems great here. So does Despise. I just might have to take more of the control route. Drown in Sorrows. Drown in Sorrows actually don't seem the greatest. So 7 cards need to come out. Maybe the Black Cat. Murderous Cut seem very good. I'm going to go ahead and take out some Master of Feasts. They just seem to die way too easily to Crackling Doom. And possibly just the Tymaret combo. Or I'm gonna go ahead and take out some Mind Rots, since I'm bringing in the other cards. Keep in 2 Mind Rots, and I think we're pretty safe to just take out 1 Tymaret. I'm gonna submit this. All right, so yes, I'd like to play first. Keepable hand, yeah, definitely. It's slow, but it's got a Murderous Cut for that Butcher. First things first, I just thin out with the Bloodstained, pass a turn, and I think we just do Despise here. I'm going to go ahead and get a Mountain. See what's in his hand. So he's got a Butcher, a Storm Breath, and he's so far from actually casting anything. A Banishing Light can actually take care of my Waste Not. I think the hardest card for me to deal with is the Butcher. Out of here. I hope I just don't die to raise the alarms, but Butcher's gone. Storm Breath, something I can take with Murderous Cut pretty easily. And pretty much know we're not resolving a Waste Not anytime soon. So we're going to have to use Waste Not on kind of our turn. Here's fine. We'll just Black Cat. Throw out the Black Cat. It's blockers against the Raise the Alarm. Another Swamp. Not what I wanted to see. So I think I'll just Sign in Blood myself. And yeah, I expected to Raise the Alarm to come out here. So still got that Banishing Light, Treasure Cruise Erase in his hand. He drew the Nomad. And we are definitely online with the Murderous Cut. So it's going to be a very grindy game. I'm hoping the Gray Merchants... he's got... I guess Whip as well is something he can easily take care of. So he's just Banishing Light on my Black Cat, huh? I'm so okay with that. And then I guess he's going to try to wheel me down with soldier tokens. Which I guess is okay. There's another Despise. Might as well use it. Get rid of the Storm Breath Dragon. And that Treasure Cruise. So I Mind Rot, he just... Yeah, I don't take the... I probably should have... No, that's the only thing I could take. So Hordeling Outburst is going to come out here too, which is going to be very difficult. Now I'm wishing that those Drowning Sorrows would have stayed in. Mantis Rider, that's just going to get cut. Which is just feeding his Treasure Cruise. Still has 3 cards in hand. Still has that Erase. And I guess we could... We'll waste not here. And he's going to have to use the Exile before the Mind Rot, which is nice. So the Treasure Cruise is gone. Oh, he can't even use it. So, yeah. So we can actually get rid of... Because he's only got a black up. And anything he Hordeling Outburst, Treasure Cruise, Erase in his hand. So all of those are great ones to make him discard. I assume he keeps the Erase in hand. No, Erase goes away, which I don't know. I guess he's banking on that Treasure Cruise to draw him out of this. But yeah, we unfortunately don't draw into anything. And Raise the Alarm continues to wreak havoc. And again, this is where top decks get very, very scary. Well, and even worse than top decking here, he can just Treasure Cruise his entire graveyard. He'll have to tap 1 more mana. And most likely be able to draw into something. We do have the Murderous Cut for like a Butcher. So we're down to a 10. And Bile Blight will be nice. It will give us, something to actually do with the soldier tokens. I hope he actually goes to another Raise the Alarm here. And we can get some more value out of it. Yeah, that's nice. So all those are gone. And still have a Murderous Cut up for if he drew into like a Butcher. Stockpile will be okay. We can get rid of Black Cats, or if we do draw into the one of Tymaret. But it's definitely into top deck mode. Unfortunately, he's a lot higher in cards. I do believe we still Murderous Cut that. And Gary's a great draw. I'm not going to discard it. We will just cast Gary. It's 4 damage, 4 life. Still nothing from our opponent. Black Cat I will discard, though. Which will get us a zombie. Which now he's got Crackling Doom. He's got to use it now if he actually wants to kill Gary. But again, I highly doubt that. We'll just attack him with Gary. And we have, yet again, another Murderous Cut. And getting closer to our whips. Opponent's still not drawing many lands. But we've got the aggro on board. Get in here for 4 more. Down to a 10. And there's Sorin. At this point, he's just got to pop to put a zombie out. But he dies either way, so I'm okay with that. He might just end up +1ing him. And if that's the case, I might actually just ignore it and then hope to just top deck into another Gray Merchant. Yeah, that's exactly what I expected. And at this point, yeah, I think we just do. We ignore. I mean, he's got another Madness Rider. We have a Murderous Cut for it. So we'll just ignore Sorin, attack right into him. This is actually just going to be clutch. He's got to discard 2 cards. If Tymaret goes to the graveyard here from the self-mill. No, just double lands. So he was holding lands in his hand for that, so it doesn't do anything. And no Tymaret. We got another Waste Not and a Sign in Blood went to the graveyard. So I believe we attack him is the right play. Get him in that second Gray Merchant range. Which now he puts the 2/2 into play. And again, I still think that we just attack into him. Here, I'm going to actually attack into Sorin. And we'll cut his Vampire. And hopefully kill Sorin. So Sorin's dead. So now if it's like a Stormbreath Dragon, it's not as scary with gaining life. Still nothing. And so I guess he was just, just stockpiling those lands rather than playing them out. I'm assuming that's probably what's in his hand right now. He's down to a 2. I'm okay with those just dying. I'll keep the Bile Blight up for something else. It's down to 4. Another swamp. So Crackling Doom. There goes my Gary. Tymaret will be brutal if I can actually draw it. Bile Blight this guy. How many Madness Riders is that? That's his 4 or his 3rd. Still 3 cards in his hand. There's the Whip. which is going to be game. Alrighty, so going to the sideboard here. I think the other Tymaret might be good. Drown in Sorrow. I'm liking Drown in Sorrow. I think I'm just going to take out a possibly like Black Cat. I know this makes the Necromancer Stockpile. I mean, I just want a one of Drown in Sorrow in here. And or even Empty the Pits might not be that bad if he's going to play the control route, and then we empty the pits in a turn. But I think this is the right way to go. He's keeping in Crackling Doom, so I'll keep out the Masters. Grey Merchant Bile Blight. This is an okay hand. It's not bad. It can take care of his Manus Riders. We're on the draw, which makes this hand a little bit better. We don't want to get flooded though, so I'm just gonna first turn Bloodstained Mire. I'll wait because we don't want to get a mountain quite yet. So let's hope we don't draw lands. We need to draw significant cards. Now I can take care of Raise the Alarm with Bile Blight. And let's see if that raise actually comes out here. So, no Mantis Rider, he could actually cast it. We will take care of these soldiers with the Bile Blight. Puts a card in our graveyard for the Murderous Cut. And he screwed up here. He went to his end phase, so that means he's got a Hordeling Outburst in his hand, which we have another Bile Blight for anyway. So I'm going to go just get a mountain, get this out of the way. And took his turn. Yeah, we'll just let those guys come out. And you never know if he might want to cast another one next turn. Bloodstained Mire again. I just want to thin out my deck some more. Get another Swamp. And not going to Sign in Blood because I'm going to use Bile Blight. Get rid of some more goblins. Missed a land drop here. No, he didn't. There's his land drop. See if a Butcher comes out. Another Hordeling Outburst. Alright, so I think I will Despise him. See if we can get like a Sorin. Butcher, Stormbreath, and he's got a top deck for it, so I think I'd actually rather take... Yeah, Butcher's the only thing he can cast. We'll take a Butcher. And Sign in Blood myself. And then we'll Murderous Cut if he does top deck. If not, he does have those Hordeling Outbursts though, which are very annoying. So just double Stormbreath Dragon, and he needs that just one land of anything, and he does top deck it. So that's unfortunate because the other one's gonna be very hard for us to deal with. The other Stormbreath Dragon. So our Signing Blood found us lands too. That's the worst feeling. Well, we do have that other Murderous Cut, and we can't actually cast it, so that ends up being very good. So let's throw out the Grey Merchant. Here comes the Sorin. And he's going to attack in, huh? That's interesting. I get to block one. Keep my Grey Merchant alive. Another Murderous Cut. Thin out our deck some more. Again, I don't know if I attack into Sorin here. Because if not, does he just start putting out vampires? Now, I want him to use his +1 when he casts a Storm Breath, but that was a good top deck on his part, was the Sorin. Looks like Storm Breath is going to come out here. And there's the +1. Just coming in with Storm Breath. So we'll Murderous Cut it. And unfortunately, we're hitting these land drops. Attack into Sorin with the Grey Merchant. I hope he double blocks to kill the Grey Merchant. Hitting anything but a land would be amazing. Sorin goes down. But again, I need some help to draw out of this. He's coming in with the goblins. That'll take me down to an 8. Another swamp. I don't think I can attack him with the Grey Merchant here. We did keep him off that ult for a few turns, though. There's a Butcher. See, I hope he sacks a Goblin. Absolutely hopes he sacks. Yes, he does. That's awesome. And we get yet another Murderous Cut. There's 3 of our Murderous Cuts. And a Stubborn Denial, which is just in his hand. And that's most likely going to be a game. As not to draw into something that can actually take care of the Butcher. And Sign in Blood actually just plain kills me. So, yeah, and this opponent just could not draw a land to save my life, and I couldn't draw anything but a land to save my life. So, see what we would have drawn with a Sign in Blood here. Nothing at all. More lands, more lands. But I feel good against this matchup. You saw I can deal anything he actually cast. He had some great draws on his part. I mean, look at the land count getting stuck at exactly 5, which his deck doesn't want more of. Having not only the Butcher for 4, but the Stubborn Denial there. If he doesn't have the Stubborn Denial in hand, then the Butcher dies. I get attack into Sorin, or just keep it back with the Goblin, and then, well, it's still, looking at my draws here, I'm in for a very rough matchup where I think we're almost out of lands by now, as we just got way too flooded. Anyway, we'll go to another matchup here. This is Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Playing on a Budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Gathering Magic and check out our Playing on a Budget playlist, which contains every episode. Thanks again.